Hi, it's Summer and welcome to my Summerween reading vlog. I have been looking forward to this readathon for weeks now, so I'm so excited that it's finally here. Today is actually day 2. I worked yesterday and today, and yesterday was just like way too busy for me to like make any kind of content, but I did start my first read yesterday, but I'll get into that in a minute. I've participated in Summerween for a few years now, also Winterween. Gabby is the creator and the host for this readathon. I'll make sure to link her Instagram and YouTube in the description so you can go follow her. Halloween is my favorite time of year, so I love that there's a readathon that is bringing like Halloween stuff into the summertime. First, I'm going to go over the reading prompts for the week and what books I'm choosing for each prompt. Prompt number 1 is to read a book in the dark or at night, so that can apply to any of my books. Prompt number 2 is to read a horror or a thriller book, and I have a couple of those on my list. My current read is a horror book. It's called From Below by Darcy Coates. This is my first book from this author, but I've heard good things about their writing and their books. This one is deep sea horror, which is one of my favorite like subgenres of horror. The ocean is one of my biggest fears. Like deep water is terrifying to me, so that's already like a creepy aspect, and then you throw in whatever else is getting thrown into the story that just makes it even worse. This one's about like a documentary crew that are trying to find the location of this ship that mysteriously sunk like 90 years prior. They go down to like dive around the wreck, and it kind of feels like there's weird things happening, and then you also are getting a dual POV of back in like the 1920s or something when this like ship that wrecked, you're following like the days before the ship sunk. So you're kind of going back and forth. Right now I'm at 60% of the way through, and honestly it's just feeling like a 3-star, like it's fine. There are a lot of characters. It just kind of feels like there's too many to keep track of. I'm really not keeping track of them. So I feel like because of that, if anything happens to any of these characters, I'm not really gonna care as much because I don't even really know who half of them are. I also just kind of feel like nothing really creepy has been happening. This just feels kind of like a really basic deep sea horror that I've like read or watched before. It doesn't really have anything like special or new or anything especially scary. So it's fine. I'm gonna keep listening to it. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna finish it, but I really don't think it's gonna be anything above a 3 or a 3.5. The other horror books that I have on my TBR for the week though are The Yellow Wallpaper. It's by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, and it's a short story that was published I think like in the 1800s or something. I'm not totally sure. I think it's about someone who starts to see creepy things in the wallpaper of their room. That's all that I really know about it. I think that a lot of people consider this to be kind of like a horror staple or a classic, and a lot of people say that it's really scary, so I'm excited to read it, and I think it'll be perfect for a readathon because it's a shorter book. Another kind of shorter book is The Scourge Between Stars by Ness Brown, and it's a sci-fi like space horror. It's been kind of compared to the Alien franchise. I love Alien space horror, and so I'm really excited to read this one. And then my last horror thriller book is Haunt Sweet Home by Sarah Pinsker, and I think that it's kind of like a reality show where somebody fixes up haunted houses to sell or something like that, and then weird things start to happen. And I just feel like that sounds like such a good premise, and I love a haunted house story. Third reading prompt is to read a book with a sky on the cover. So for that prompt, I'm going to be reading Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. This cover is so cute, and I really just wanted to read something like cozy fantasy and like kind of witchy. I just barely read this book right before the readathon started. It's a cozy fantasy witch book, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, so I'm definitely kind of like in that mood. This one is about a burned out witch that will need to turn to her friends and trust herself to find the magic in her own life again. I think she owns a bookshop, which I didn't know. I love that. It says she's been struggling to keep her bookshop afloat and just make it through the day, so the last thing that she has time for is perfecting her magic. But her 30th birthday brings a summons from her coven and a trial that tests her worthiness as a witch, and she fears the worst. Prompt number 4 is to read a book that you've owned for more than a year. So I'm going to be reading Sheets by Brenna Thumler. This also fits for the 5th reading prompt, which is to read a novella, manga, or listen to a spooky audiobook. I feel like manga probably means graphic novel too, so I'm gonna be reading this graphic novel. I've also owned it for more than a year because I got this last April. And then also for the 5th reading prompt, I do have multiple of these books on audio, so I definitely have some spooky audiobooks, including the one that I'm currently listening to. And I guess this one doesn't fit for any of the prompts, but I want to read it this week too. It's Best Hex Ever by Nadia El Fassi. This cover is so cute, and this is another cozy witchy book. I think this one is about a witch who is a kitchen witch, and she owns a cafe, and she infuses magic into the things that she bakes. It says that she has a hex hanging over her head, and all of her partners are cursed with bad luck for as long as they are with her. This just sounds right up my alley, and I've also heard a lot of people say that they love this and that I'm going to love it, so I'm really excited for this one. There's also a bingo board with more prompts on it. Some of them kind of overlap with like the reading prompts. So read a book in the dark, watch a scary movie, read a book with 6 words in the title, which I don't think any of my books fit for that one. Read a book that takes place in the desert, read a thriller or horror book, bake a fall-inspired treat, listen to a Halloween playlist, read a book outside, or read a book with a night sky on the cover. I think that it's really fun that there are a few like activities on here. I'm especially excited to make a fall-inspired treat. There are also Instagram photo prompts. So day number 1 was to post a picture of your TBR. I was able to squeeze in taking my TBR picture yesterday, so here's how my picture turned out. Today's prompt is to post a reel of your reading routine, and honestly I don't think I'm gonna have time to do that. I also just don't really have the energy after work, so I might just skip that one altogether or just do it on another day. Tonight I'm just gonna keep listening to From Below so that I can finish it and start something new tomorrow. I'm only a little bit farther in my book. I'm at 68% now. I just barely made my fall-inspired treat. It's in the oven now for about an hour. It was super easy because I cheated and used a Trader Joe's box mix. While it's in the oven though, I think I'm gonna work on building a piece of furniture that got delivered yesterday. I got this cool like cabinet to replace this one right here. It's underneath my monk wall. The current cabinet was just left over from our apartment. It was our kitchen island. So I just put it here because we already had it, but it's not my favorite. So I ordered a cuter one, and I also got some knobs to go on it to kind of give it a little bit more personality. This one is also missing like the shelves that go inside of it, so it doesn't even work well for storage. So I think this new one is going to be a lot more efficient, and it's going to look cuter. Usually Travis helps me put together furniture, so we'll see if I can do it by myself. Well, I know that I can do it by myself, but I'm just hoping it doesn't take me like 4 hours.
Cause I know that we're changing. Hold tight, 'cause I know we're changing. But I will be forever young in yours.
I finished my audiobook at the same time that I was finishing up putting icing on the bread, so it was like perfect timing. But I think I'm gonna give this one 2 stars. It just wasn't really that scary to me, and it didn't feel very original. I didn't care about any of the characters because, like I said earlier, I didn't know who any of them were because there were too many to keep track of. They also just kept making stupid decisions, so it's hard to root for characters that you feel like are dumb. I feel like the atmosphere and the setting came across. Like I could visualize this underwater like ship that they're exploring, and the talk of like running out of oxygen and having just like the ocean all around you and stuff like that was freaky, but like the actual horror elements other than that weren't really scary. I had a thought earlier, I think it was on my way home from work when I was listening to the audiobook, and I was like, I'm kind of bored, like should I just like DNF it? But I talked myself out of it, and honestly I kind of wish that I would have DNF'd it. I'm not sure what book I'm going to pick up next. I think I'm just gonna wait until tomorrow to decide. I feel like I'm kind of leaning more towards one of my like witchy, cozy fantasy books. Happy day 3 of the readathon. I've had a pretty productive day so far. I kind of like tidied up the kitchen. I did a bunch of dishes that were in the sink, and I took my Instagram picture for the day. I also made some like pumpkin sauce for my coffee. So I had some pumpkin coffee with some pumpkin bread today. While I was doing all of that, I started the audiobook for Rewitched, and I think right now I'm like 30-something% of the way through, 36% of the way through. So far it's cute. It definitely has the cozy vibes. The main character that we're following is Belle. Her full name is Belladonna, but she hates that name, so she goes by Belle. She comes from a line of witches, and she keeps her magic secret from those around her. On her 30th birthday, her coven makes her do this like assessment to see if she's worthy of keeping her magic. In this world, witches receive their magic at age 15, and then they have 15 years to use it and like use it for good, and to also try and like learn and develop their magic. At this assessment though, they recall like times in your life where you've used your magic, and they use those moments to decide whether or not you get to keep it. I'm honestly just kind of like pissed off. This like board of witches that are in her coven are like so archaic and annoying. Like, this girl obviously deserves to keep her magic. She's a good person. She's used it a couple of times for things that might be considered like unsavory, but even those things like were justified. Like, there's no reason that she shouldn't have her magic, and these like elder witches or whatever are making a big deal of like, you might not get to keep your magic, and it's just stupid. The pacing does feel a little bit slow right now. Like, I kind of thought that by now I'd be like closer to the halfway mark, and I'm just kind of ready for things to start happening. I think that I was maybe wanting something like a little bit lower stakes, so that's not the book's fault, but I think I'm just a little bit more ready for some coziness to come in. So far I do really like seeing the ways that she uses her magic in her everyday life, like using it to make herself a cup of tea when she gets home from work. That's another thing about this that I do enjoy, is that she works at a bookstore, and the boss is wanting her to like take over the bookstore, but she doesn't really think that she's like up to the task. So I'm sure that her character development through the book is going to eventually lead her to wanting to own and operate the bookstore, and she'll be more confident in herself. But I feel like that's been a fun aspect of this one so far. It's cute. It's not feeling like a new favorite. I think it's gonna be closer to like a 4. I'm gonna keep listening to the audiobook while I go pick up our groceries. I also really quick might go to Five Below and get some disco balls. They have some that are about like this size, but I really want to get some like macrame plant hangers and put the disco balls in it and hang them from the ceiling, so that when the light comes in, we get like the lights everywhere. I ordered some macrame hangers that should be here tomorrow, so I figure while I'm gonna be out driving and stuff, I might as well stop by there really quick too. And then after that, I'm actually gonna play Stardew Valley with my brother. He recently started playing it and thought that I would really like it. It's been on my radar for years because a lot of people compare it to Animal Crossing, but I always just felt content with Animal Crossing. I never really wanted to play another game, but he convinced me to get it so that we could play it together. So I'm really excited for that tonight. Happy day 4 of Summerween. Instead of coffee today, I'm having Dr. Pepper in my ghost mug. I also have been continuing in Rewitched. I did some tandem reading just barely. I am 68% of the way through. I didn't really read very much more last night because I ended up playing Stardew Valley with my brother for like 4.5 hours. It was so much fun. I didn't really know what like multiplayer was like for Stardew Valley, but you basically just have another character that can help you like get all of your resources and stuff, so you get twice as much work done. So he helped me progress in the game so much. It was seriously so much fun, so we're gonna be doing it again some other time this week. So anyway, I know that there are a few other people that have started playing Stardew Valley around the same time as me. I only just barely started playing it a few weeks ago, so you'll have to let me know if you play Stardew Valley. Tell me the name of your farm and the name of your pet. I have a black cat, obviously, and her name is Miso. And then my farm, I just called it Strawberry Farm. I think I was gonna call it like Strawberry Leaf Farm or something like that, but it was too long of a name, so I just did Strawberry Farm. I also have a cow named Cookie. My chickens' names are Nugget and Pickle. And then the other animals just got like the auto names or whatever. Anyway, sorry, I talked way longer about that than I meant to. I'm just having a really fun time with this new game. As far as my book, I'm kind of feeling like it's a little bit more of like a 3.5. The pacing just feels really slow. Things still haven't really picked up, and I'm mostly just kind of feeling frustrated. I feel like the main character, Belle, I know that she's just like not confident in herself, and that's part of like her journey and her character development, but it's kind of like making me mad that she won't just like show up for herself and that she won't take these chances that would make her life so much better, like purchasing the bookstore so that she can run it. There's also a little bit of like a romance subplot that I'm not really vibing with so far. Like it's fine, it's there, but I'm not like super like rooting for it or anything. I'm feeling so sad about it though, because like I want to love this so much. And I think even if it is a 3 or a 3.5, I will still continue in the series. I think this is a series. There's at least another witchy book by the same author that I would still give a try. It also just kind of feels like there's a lot going on. I feel like the plot could have been simplified a lot more. The way that I thought the book was going to go was that the love interest guy who is part of the coven, I thought that he was going to be the one that was going to help train her for her second like assessment thing, and that they would have a romance because of that. But that's not what happened, and there's this like new other like side plot thing that has come into play, bringing in a new character that's going to be her like teacher kind of person, and it just feels busy. And then even though there's a lot going on, it feels like it's going slow. Like I don't know. I'm just not vibing with it 100% right now. I'm gonna finish it, but I really hope that something happens to turn this around. Anyway though, the photo prompt for today is to take a picture of your current read. So I need to take a picture of this. I'm glad that I'm currently reading like a book with a cute cover. I need to figure out how I'm gonna set that up though. Before I do that though, I got some things in the mail. So I thought I would do a little like haul unboxing. I got 3 macrame plant hangers like I was telling you about. This is what it looks like. And then I'll put one of my disco balls in there instead of a plant. My plan for today is to hang at least one of these up. I want to put one up by my bookshelves upstairs, especially because the light that comes in the evening would be perfect for a disco ball. I also ordered this gold star garland. My favorite account on Instagram right now is Fire Breathing Book Queen. I love the whole aesthetic of her Instagram, and she uses these gold stars to decorate, and it just adds like a little touch of whimsy. And I just thought that was such a cute, like cheap, easy way just like add some extra charm. I kind of think I want to put some of these either like on my record wall or in the guest room, like hanging over the headboard. I actually ordered a headboard for our master bedroom because we don't have one right now. It's getting here next week sometime, but I thought these could be cute over that headboard too. I just think there's a lot of options for this and I'm really excited about it. I also finally got a clear Kindle case so that I can put like stickers and stuff underneath it. But I always love seeing like reels and stuff of people like switching out their stickers and like their Kindle setup. So it took me forever, but I finally got one. The last thing that I got in this order though were some storage containers for like flour, sugar, like baking stuff, because the ones that I have are so old and gross and I just need like an updated system for it. So these aren't anything special, but they had good reviews. Let's go take the picture for Instagram though really quick. Actually, no, I want to hang up the macrame hanger first and also maybe put some stars up because maybe that'll kind of like inspire the picture that I want to take, and then we'll take the picture. It's a little bit later and I finished my audiobook while I was doing my home decor projects. I'm really happy with how the upstairs living room turned out. I think it's really cute and so cozy. I had an extra mirror that I thrifted like years ago. It was just like sitting in storage basically. So I decided to take it upstairs just to like fill in a gap in the wall for now. I don't know if I love it though. I might put it back in storage, but I thought for now it could be nice just to like reflect the light and stuff in that room. I also took my picture for the day in that room. So this is how it turned out. Oh, also upstairs, I forgot that I had some like floating bookshelf brackets. So I put one of those on the wall too. But yeah, during all of that, I finished the audiobook and I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. So I still liked the book, it was fine, but I'm so sad because I wanted it to be like a 4-star at least. And that's what I thought it was going to be. It just kind of wasn't what I expected, which isn't the book's fault. It was too long. The audiobook was 12 hours. And I feel like for a book like this, it only needs to be like an 8-hour audiobook. It just felt too long and the pacing didn't help that either, like I already told you. It was also just really confusing. So I didn't love it, but I also didn't hate it. And I don't know what I'm gonna pick up next, but I will update you when I do.
Side by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love.
This book is shorter than I thought because it's only been like an hour maybe, I guess maybe closer to 2, but I'm already 66% of the way through, which honestly I'm really glad about because the pacing issues of the last book, I don't know if I could have handled that again. This one is definitely moving quickly. I forgot the main character's name, but she's working on her uncle's reality TV show that's like really popular. It's called Haunt Sweet Home, and he works with people that are renovating their house, but they're also dealing with like the hauntings of it at the same time. From what I can tell, they find like real history of the land or the house, and then they kind of like have people on set like amplify things and like fake it to make the house seem like extra haunted, and they like scare the couple that's like working on renovating the house and stuff. The main character, I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be unlikable and I don't like her. She's super mopey and she's a loner. It kind of seems like she's the outcast of her family and she's never really been made to feel like she belongs in her family or like people care about her. So I feel like I should feel sad for her, but I don't. She's just kind of annoying. The audiobook for this one is awesome. It's full cast, and the way that some of the book is being told is through like the transcript of the episode, and like if someone swears in the TV show and they would bleep it out, it actually bleeps on the audiobook. So I would definitely recommend listening to this one if you're going to read it. I'm definitely entertained and I really like the premise, but I have a feeling that I already know what's going on, and I knew from the second that something gets introduced into the story, which was kind of early on, and like maybe I'm supposed to catch on to it super early and then it'll get like flipped on its head or something else will surprise me. So I'm really hoping that it's that, because if I am correct about what I think the plot twist is going to be, that's just gonna suck. So I think I should be able to finish this one tonight. Right now, I think I'm gonna work on some graphics for this vlog, and I'm also going to put my bread in the oven. I just finished the book and I was right about the plot twist. I feel like it could have been better if it would have like committed more and like really went there. I think it was also just too short of a book for what it was trying to do. It was just kind of like meh. I think I'm gonna give it like a 2 or a 2.5. I'm not sure if I'm gonna start another book tonight. If I do, it's probably going to be Best Hex Ever, but I might also just like catch up on YouTube videos or something. It's the next day and I have a very exciting update for you. I'm having 5-star feelings. I started this a couple of hours ago. I'm at 18% right now, but I'm not even kidding when I say that like 2% in, I was like, am I having 5-star feelings right now? First of all, the writing is really good. I really enjoy the writing style. It's very descriptive and cozy and warm. This one is about a kitchen witch named Dina, and she has a coffee shop cafe, and she infuses everything in her cafe with magic. And a lot of it is just to help someone have a certain feeling when they eat or drink a certain item, or like bring them luck. And the way that she does that is she conjures up her own memories and the feeling of that memory, and she infuses that into the items that she's making. It's just really beautiful magic, and it's just beautifully described. She's also bi, which I love, and the love interest has 2 moms. So the queer up is great, and I didn't know that was going to be an aspect of the book before going in, so that was a really pleasant surprise. The love interest is named Scott, and he's a curator for a museum. One day, Scott goes into Dina's cafe, and there's like instantly sparks, and they have this like really short interaction that they both just like can't stop thinking about. The back says, thanks to a hex hanging over her head, Dina's partners are cursed with bad luck for as long as they are with her, making it impossible to fall in love. So she needs all the luck that she can get, and she has a lot of like protection symbols and stuff around her and in her coffee shop. And Scott is actually curating a collection for the museum that's going to go on tour, and it's going to showcase like good luck charms and like totems and like things like that from different cultures. Also, part of this world tour that they're going to do is they're going to be returning a lot of these artifacts back to their original countries. So I just think that's a really cool aspect. Scott also has some things that he's kind of dealing with from his past. He was in a group home growing up and was later adopted by his moms. And he also has gone through a bad breakup where his partner cheated on him. So I think those are some kind of like heavier topics that we'll be learning more about as the book goes on. Dina also has 2 best friends, and so far I'm really loving their scenes together. It seems like such a wholesome and healthy friendship. Her 2 friends are some of the only people that know that she's a witch. One of the friends is getting married, and they all got together to bake some goods for the wedding, and that was a really sweet scene. Dina also has a cat that's her familiar that's really cute. Oh, she also has like this magical henna on her arms, and it's almost kind of like animated, like it'll do certain things when she's feeling certain things or certain things happen, and that's such a cute, unique touch. Literally everything about this book I'm obsessed with so far. It is just really speaking to me, and I am just loving how the writing is making the magic come across. It just feels so warm. I need to keep reading, but I also just like want to savor it. It's been a minute since I've felt this way about a book, and it just feels great. There's an update on what I'm reading. The photo prompt for today is to take a picture with books with night skies on the cover, so I need to go and pull a few books for that. I actually just took a picture for Instagram for like a different post. The trend has already kind of come and gone, but I really like the coffee run trend that happened a few weeks ago, or maybe it was like a month ago at this point, where people would get like a coffee carrier or like a drink carrier, and they would have a drink but also just like random stuff in there that they like. So this is how my picture turned out. I had my Kindle, some crystals, some disco balls, just like some cute things that fit like my aesthetic and my personality. I feel like trend cycles are so depressing because of how fast they move. I think trends are so fun, and I love seeing everybody's take on certain things, but by the time I'm like mentally and physically ready to participate in the trend, it's already gone. I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels like that. So I feel like even if it's like cringe or something, I feel like if there's a trend that I really like, I'm just gonna still do it no matter if it's past or not. I've literally been saving that drink carrier for like a month, just like waiting to take this picture. I don't go out and get coffee very often, so today when I decided to treat myself, I was like, I need to take a picture when I get home. I still haven't even taken a sip of this because I wanted it to look perfect for the picture. I just got my usual, which is a grande iced chai with a shot of espresso and oat milk. And then right now they have strawberry cream cold foam. So I of course had to get that on top because I love strawberry flavored things, but also it's pink, so like I had to. That is literally amazing. The strawberry cold foam, she is that girl. My plans for today are to do whatever I want. I've been pretty productive the last few days as far as like doing dishes and laundry and stuff, and so I'm just gonna take a break today. I'm just gonna have a chill day. I feel like all I want to do is just like sit and read this book. I do want to tandem read a little bit, but also I kind of think that it would be fun to like color or something while I listen to the audiobook, so I might do some of that later. Whatever I end up doing, I'll make sure that I bring you along with me. Okay, sorry, I'm back like literally 5 minutes later. She just shared some homemade hot chocolate with him, and she took a sip and she got like some foam on her upper upper lip and he was like, "May I?" And he like wiped it off while he was like making eye contact with her, and then he licked it off of his thumb. I screamed. I can't handle this book. I think it's gonna be 5 stars. I love this for me. I also forgot to say that Scott has always like put a lot of weight into like good luck charms and stuff growing up, especially with his like adoption process. He always tried to have like a good luck charm on him or do something that would bring him luck so that he would be able to end up in a loving home. And I think it was like the first day that he was with his mom's, there was a ladybug that came and landed somewhere, and that was just like a sign to him that it was like going to work out. And I have a ladybug tattoo right here for my ladybug grandma. She had ladybugs everywhere and she loved that they were like a good luck charm. And so that like almost just like made me cry, like seeing that in a book. Like I just feel giddy reading this. I feel like since this year, it's been a little bit rough for finding books that I love. I forgot that reading could feel like this and that this is why I love to read. I'm so happy right now. All right, I'm gonna keep listening. I've been really bad at updating the vlog yesterday and today. Yesterday I just kind of like forgot to film things while I was doing them. I wasn't going to do like chores yesterday, but I did end up like cleaning up the kitchen, doing some dishes because I wanted to cleanse my house and I like to do that after it's like kind of tidied up. So I did that yesterday and then I took my picture. This is how it turned out. I got a little bit confused because I didn't like read the prompt super carefully and I thought it was that you were supposed to post a picture of books with the night sky on the cover, but it was actually just to post books with a sky on the cover, no matter the time of day. Today I woke up and gave myself a bang trim. I didn't do anything too crazy, but I took like a ½ inch off. And then after that I went to the vet and picked up a new IV bag for Markle because we have to give him an IV treatment twice a week. And then I came home and colored. I did remember to film that. I was going to do a Halloween page at first, but then I saw that one and it just looked so cute. And then Travis came home from work while I was coloring it and he said that it's literally me and him eating the homemade bread that I made the other day, which made it even cuter. I've still been reading Best Hex Ever. I'm at 88% right now, so I'm really close to finishing it. I definitely think I'll finish it tonight. So far, I'm still loving it. It is feeling a little bit like too horny. There have been a lot of sex scenes and it feels like a little bit much. Like I kind of wish we could have done without 1 or 2 of them just to make the book feel a little bit more serious. The spice has been good though. Like it's well written. and it's been fun, so that's good at least. There has been a little bit of miscommunication, but Dina is kind of like aware of it. Like she's self-aware enough to be like, I know that this isn't the best course of action, but this is why I'm doing it. So that's helped me be a little bit more okay with it. It's still just like such a sweet story and I'm having such a good time reading it. It's also really refreshing because how things have kind of turned out with the plot and like with the main issue, it hasn't been done in a cliche way. Pretty much all romance follows like the same plot. All of the tropes are always done the same way, in the same order. Certain things or certain tropes have a certain outcome at a certain point. And I feel like this one is kind of keeping me guessing a little bit. I was expecting a miscommunication, a third act breakup at one point because of the whole curse situation, and that really hasn't been a thing so far, at least. I'm just really glad that it's not like following the exact same romance recipe as every other romance book. So I think for now I'm just gonna keep reading my book, and then I also might try and play Stardew Valley with my brother again tonight. I would really like to finish the book though before I do that. It's day 6, I think, of the readathon. I just got home from work. I started my audiobook for The Scourge Between Stars. It's a horror novella and it's set in space. It's giving alien vibes, or like Prometheus, like that kind of like space horror. The audiobook is only 5 hours long. I'm 58% of the way through. It's taken longer than I thought for the horror elements to happen. So far it's also not feeling like the most original story. I guess as far as like books go, I haven't read this kind of space horror in a book, but if you've seen any like space horror movies or TV shows, it's pretty much like once you've seen one, you've seen all of them. It's the trope of there's a bunch of people on a ship that left Earth for a better place to live. There's something not human on the ship and it's killing people. There's also an android that's a character that like interacts with the other like human characters. So it's giving kind of like David vibes. I'm having a good time, but it's not feeling like anything different. After I finish this one though, the only books that are left on my TBR are Sheets and The Yellow Wallpaper, which I should be able to finish in one sitting. So I'm actually really proud of myself. I'm going to complete my entire TBR. Oh, I also forgot to give an update on Best Hex Ever. I did finish it last night. It wasn't a perfect book, but it had the vibes. And it actually kind of made me a little bit emotional towards the end. And I just like had such a good time reading it. Like I just found myself like just smiling so many times while I was listening. So yeah, that one's 5 stars. I'm so glad that I have a physical copy to have in my library. It's a couple days later, so the readathon is officially over. We're also cat sitting right now for some friends, and both of their cats have bells on their collars. So if you hear some little jingles in the background, that's what it is. I also have a little bit of a cold right now, so I'm sorry in advance for the annoying voice. I didn't really end up vlogging the last couple days of the readathon. First of all, I think because I was just a little bit burnt out of vlogging everything, and second of all because this video is already so freaking long. I also didn't take any more of the pictures for the rest of the week either. And then for my book update, I did finish The Scourge Between Stars. I ended up going with a 3.5. It did end up having a little bit of a unique twist towards the end, so that was nice, but overall I have the same feelings as in the last clip where it just didn't feel like the most unique thing that I've ever read. So I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it. And then after that, I read The Yellow Wallpaper. I gave it 4 stars. It was a really solid horror short story. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's cool that it's really stood the test of time. That one was about a woman who moves with her family to this house, or it's a manor or a mansion or something, and it had kind of a unique history, I think. I feel like it was such a quick read, and I read it like a few days ago now, so I kind of have forgotten some of the details. But this woman is kind of like going through it, and she starts to see things in the wallpaper in the room that she's staying in. She also starts to see things kind of around the grounds of the house. Since it is such a short book, I don't really want to say too much more, but if you're a fan of horror, I think that you should read it just because it is kind of considered like a classic at this point, I think, and it was really good. And then after The Yellow Wallpaper, I read Sheets. I actually forgot, I did get a couple of clips of me reading this because I wanted to show the art style. I gave this one 3 stars. I liked it. I'm for sure going to continue in the series. I think this one for me wasn't a higher rating because it was like so depressing, but then also on the flip side, it was like so like silly that it was kind of hard to figure out the tone. The main character in this one has lost her mom, and her mom and dad own and operate this laundromat, It was her mom's dream to own this business, and after her mom passed, her dad fell into a really deep depression and hasn't been able to keep up with the business, so all of it has fallen onto her shoulders. She also has a younger brother that she's kind of trying to like take care of and make sure is okay, so she's obviously really struggling because she's also grieving and then has all of this responsibility put on her, and then all of like the townspeople that are customers at this laundromat are just like so rude to her whenever she can't complete something on time or if something isn't just perfect. Like the world is against this girl and you just feel so sad for her. And then all of a sudden this like really silly caricature of a man shows up out of nowhere and is trying to get this girl to sign over her family business to him. And he's like trespassing and breaking in, trying to sabotage. He's like turning all the customers against her even more. And it just felt like too over the top and frustrating to me. It was like everybody was acting so ridiculous that it just like was making me mad. I'm okay with stuff being silly, especially in a graphic novel, but it was just making me so mad, which I know is the point. It was trying to make me angry for this main character, but it was just like too much, I think, for me. I did really like how the afterlife is depicted in this. There's a ghost that shows up to the human world and he starts hanging out at the laundromat. Everything to do with the ghost world was just really cute and creative. Also just really sad though too. This was honestly probably closer to a 2.5. Up until the end, I actually really liked the ending. I thought it was so sweet. And so that kind of bumped it up to a 3 for me. I feel bad though that I didn't rate this higher because so many people commented on my pictures this week saying that they loved this graphic novel and the whole series. And I just feel bad that I didn't like it as much as people probably thought I was going to. Like I said though, I did like it enough to continue in the series. So I might try and pick those up this fall. Something that I only really noticed like last night was that I did not keep up with the bingo board at all. The only activity from it that I actually did was bake a fall inspired treat. So I thought that was kind of funny. Just to kind of wrap up what I read for Summerween, I read From Below by Darcy Coates and gave it 2 stars. Then I read Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood and gave it 3 stars. After that was Haunt Sweet Home by Sarah Pinsker and I gave it 2/2.5 stars. Then I read Best Hex Ever by Nadia L. Fossey and gave it 5 stars. Then I picked up The Scourge Between Stars by Ness Brown and gave it 3.5 stars. After that, The Yellow Wallpaper, which I gave 4 stars, and then Sheets with 3 stars. This was such a fun week. Thank you so much to Gabby for hosting such a fun readathon. Also, thank you to her sister for making such cute graphics. All of the little ghosts that you saw in this video are her illustrations from like the readathon announcements and stuff and the graphics. Also, thank you so much for all of the interaction that I got on Instagram with all of my posts and things. I felt really connected to the community and it was just such a fun time. I loved seeing everybody else that was participating in the readathon. If you participated in Summerween, you'll have to let me know in the comments what your favorite book that you read this week was. Mine was definitely Best Hex Ever. If you made it to this point in the video, leave an evil eye emoji in the comments, since that was some of the imagery that was used in this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Appalachian sunrise.